My friends, today I will give you a key that has unlocked kingdoms, opened doors, and moved mountains for those who dared to use it. It is not loud, it is not complicated, yet it carries the weight of creation itself. It is a principle so powerful that once it is understood, it can transform the direction of your life and shape the reality around you in ways you once believed were impossible. This key is ancient and timeless, yet it remains hidden in plain sight, often overlooked because of its simplicity. And here it is, write this down and keep it secret. This act may seem insignificant, even trivial, but do not underestimate it. For words are not merely sounds carried by air or marks etched on a page. Words are seeds, vibrant, living containers of thought and intention. When you speak them, you send them outward into the world. When you write them, you carve them into the very fabric of the invisible realm. The moment your pen touches the page, you are doing far more than jotting down a thought. You are setting a blueprint before the unseen forces of life, commanding them to take shape. What is written becomes anchored. What is anchored begins to move. And what begins to move, if nurtured and protected, cannot help but manifest into form. But here lies the mystery most people do not grasp. The newborn seed is delicate. Just as a gardener does not expose a seedling to harsh winds before it has roots, so too must you protect your written intentions from the careless exposure of premature revelation. When you speak too soon, when you show your treasure before it is ready, the winds of doubt can scatter it. The opinions and judgments of others can trample upon it. Even your own faith, once so strong, can falter under the weight of external disbelief. This is why the act of secrecy is sacred. You must guard your intention like a flame in the night, shielding it from storms, nourishing it in silence, and holding it close until it burns with such unwavering power that nothing in this world can extinguish it. When you conceal your written desire, you do not weaken it, you strengthen it. That hidden note is not a passive wish. It is a living agreement between you and the infinite. It is a sacred covenant, a private conversation with the creative force that governs all things. And within that silence, your desire gathers momentum. No interference can distort it. No outside opinion can dilute it. No resistance can oppose it. It becomes pure energy, focused, undisturbed, alive. And this energy begins to shape the currents of your reality in ways you may not yet perceive. And there is another truth as you return to those words. Reading them in silence and allowing their meaning to sink into your being, you awaken the law of expectancy. The universe is responsive, and expectation is one of its most powerful commands. When you expect something deeply, not with desperate longing, but with calm assurance, you send a signal into the unseen that says, "This is already mine." The moment you write your desire and feel it as truth, forces beyond your comprehension begin to move. The universe starts arranging circumstances, shifting situations, and aligning opportunities to bring that which you have declared into your experience. Every so-called coincidence, every unexpected introduction, every sudden stroke of luck is drawn toward you, magnetically attracted by the silent current of your belief. Think about the great achievements of humanity. Every empire that rose, every invention that revolutionized the world, every movement that reshaped history. All of them began as a thought. And that thought, before it was spoken to the world, was often written down in secret, a hidden note, a private plan, a seed no one else saw. What you write in secret today, those words only your eyes have seen, may one day become the reality the world cannot ignore. Your quiet script may evolve into a business that changes lives, a work of art that stirs souls, a relationship that fulfills your deepest desires, or a life so aligned with your purpose that you wonder how you ever lived without it. So I say to you now, take your pen, take your paper, and write. Write not just what you wish for, but what you know, with the unwavering certainty of a soul aligned with its destiny, is already yours in the unseen. Do not write with hesitation. Do not write with fear. Write boldly. Write as though the ink flowing across the page carries the authority of destiny itself. Use language that affirms, not pleads. Declare, do not beg. And once the words are there, once they are etched into the sacred canvas of possibility, guard them. Hide them. Keep them away from careless eyes and doubtful tongues. This is not secrecy born of fear. It is secrecy born of wisdom. It is not about hiding from the world, but about allowing your dream to mature in the rich, undisturbed soil of silence. For in your silence, your desire grows. In your secrecy, it gains strength. And when the time is right, when your belief has become unshakable and your energy irresistible, your hidden seed will burst forth into the visible world. It will break through the soil of reality, unstoppable, and undeniable, and it will bear fruit far beyond what you once imagined. And when that day comes, the world will marvel. They will see the results, the success, the transformation, the beauty. And they will ask how it happened. They will see the harvest but not the seed. They will celebrate the bloom, but never know the silence from which it grew. And you will know, deep within, that it all began the moment you wrote it down and kept it secret. So do not dismiss this practice as small or simple. It is among the most powerful tools you possess. It connects thought with form, belief with reality, and the invisible with the visible. It is the bridge between who you are now and who you are destined to become. Write with intention. Keep it sacred. Nurture it in silence, and watch as the universe bends to the authority of your written word. Write this down. Keep it secret. And then watch. Truly watch, as your life transforms before your eyes. The power of the written word is far greater than most people ever realize. To many, words may appear to be nothing more than shapes on a page, lines and curves forming letters, letters forming sentences, and sentences filling paragraphs. But when we look beyond the surface, when we begin to perceive the unseen laws that govern life, we come to understand that words are not merely ink on paper. They are forces of creation. They are living vibrations, carriers of energy, and when written with intention, they become commands to the universe itself. They are seeds planted in the soil of reality, destined to grow into form when nurtured with belief, repetition, and unwavering focus. Every word carries a vibration. This is not poetry, it is law. Science itself tells us that sound is vibration, and vibration creates patterns. Ancient wisdom tells us that words shape destinies. The two truths are not separate, they are one. When you write a word, you give shape to thought. You take something intangible, fleeting a mere spark within your mind, and anchor it into physical reality. Thought by itself can be powerful, yes, but thought is elusive. Thoughts slip away, scattered by distraction, drowned by the noise of daily living. But the written word is thought made tangible, thought given permanence, thought planted firmly in the ground where it cannot drift away. Writing captures the invisible and makes it visible. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. That seed, in its earliest state, does not look like the harvest. It does not resemble the fruit or the tree it is destined to become. To the untrained eye, it seems small, weak, and insignificant. Yet the farmer knows the truth. Within that seed lies the potential for growth, for abundance, for a harvest that can sustain life. In the same way, every word you write is a seed. To others it may look like scribbles on a page, ordinary and unremarkable. But to the universe, to the unseen laws that govern manifestation, those words are alive. They carry intention. They carry direction. They are blueprints for the reality that is to come. When you write with clarity and purpose, you are not simply journaling your thoughts, you are giving instruction to the creative substance of the universe. You are saying, "This is what shall be." And the universe responds, not with judgment, not with hesitation, but with obedience. The invisible currents begin to move, aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities in harmony with the words you have declared. Just as a seed draws to itself sunlight, water, and nutrients from the soil, so too do your words draw into your life the resources, ideas, and alignments needed for their fulfillment. But intention is the key. Words without intention are like seeds scattered carelessly upon rocky ground. They may exist, but they do not grow. They may lie dormant, ignored, forgotten. It is intention, focused, conscious, deliberate, that gives words their commanding power. When you write with intention, you do not simply describe reality as it is, you shape reality as it shall be. You infuse your words with belief, with energy, with the quiet certainty that what you declare is already true in the unseen, and therefore must manifest in the seen. Throughout history, we see evidence of this. The greatest documents that have shaped civilizations were written words. Declarations, scriptures, constitutions, philosophies. These were not idle writings. They were commands that altered the course of nations and steered the destiny of humanity. Behind every empire, every invention, every movement that changed the world, there was first a word written down. The written word endures. It carries power long after the writer has gone, echoing across generations. And if words written for nations can create such impact, do you not see that words written in your private notebook can create profound impact in your own life? When you sit with a pen and paper, you step into the role of creator. You take the invisible spark of imagination and fix it into form. You take the formless and give it shape. And when you return to those words, reading them again and again, you reinforce their energy. You water the seed. You cultivate the soil. You surround it with the sunlight of your belief. Slowly but surely, unseen forces begin their work. Slowly but surely, the reality begins to bend toward the blueprint you have inscribed. There is also a reason why writing is often more powerful than speaking alone. When you speak words, they fly into the air and dissipate, lingering only as echoes in memory. They have power, yes, but they are fleeting. Writing, however, is enduring. It remains fixed. You can return to it. You can see it again. You can refine it, strengthen it, and build upon it. Writing does not merely release energy, it stores it, like a reservoir that you can draw from again and again. Each time you look upon your written words, you reconnect with the intention that birthed them, reigniting their power, reaffirming their truth. But beware, for the written word is a double-edged sword. Just as you can write life, you can also write limitation. Just as you can declare abundance, you can also inscribe lack. The universe does not differentiate between what is positive or negative. It simply obeys. That is why intention must be guided with wisdom. If you fill your pages with complaints, fears, and doubts, you are planting weeds in the garden of your life. And just as surely as seeds of greatness will grow, so too will seeds of despair. The soil does not judge what you plant, it simply produces. Likewise, the unseen realm responds to whatever command you inscribe. Therefore, choose your words carefully. Write not as a victim but as a creator. Do not write what you fear, but what you desire. Do not use words to echo your limitations, but to declare your liberation. The pen in your hand is not a tool of description. It is a scepter of authority. It is your power to write and rewrite the script of your life. Consider also the act of secrecy in this practice. When you write with intention, it is often best to guard those words, to keep them sacred and hidden from careless eyes. Why? Because words carry energy, and energy in its earliest stages is fragile. Expose your sacred words too soon, and they may be trampled by the doubts of others or drained by their disbelief. But keep them close, and they grow stronger in silence. Like seeds beneath the soil, your words do their greatest work unseen, until at last they break through into undeniable reality. In the end, the power of the written word lies in its marriage of thought and form, of the unseen and the seen. It is the bridge between imagination and manifestation, between desire and destiny. Every time you write with intention, you are stepping into alignment with the laws of creation, wielding the same force that shaped the stars and set the planets into motion. Words are not just ink on paper. They are living seeds, and when you write them with clarity, faith, and expectation, they cannot help but grow into the reality you call your life. The hidden law of attention is one of the most powerful, yet least understood forces in life. Most people drift through their days without realizing that wherever they direct their focus, they are pouring energy. Energy is not scattered aimlessly. It obeys attention as faithfully as a river flows in the direction it is guided. This is why what you focus upon grows stronger, more vivid, more present in your experience. And when you take the time to write something down with clear and steady focus, you give it a unique weight. You transform a fleeting desire into something tangible, something real, something anchored in the physical world. Vague thoughts and daydreams float in and out of the mind like clouds across the sky, but once captured in writing, they crystallize. They become commands to the invisible laws that govern creation. What was once uncertain becomes certain. What was once a passing wish becomes a declaration of destiny. Attention is like sunlight to a seed. Imagine a seed lying dormant in the soil, waiting for the conditions to awaken its potential. Without sunlight, it cannot grow. But the moment light touches it, the process of life begins. Your attention works in the same way. Every thought, every desire, every goal you write down is a seed in the soil of reality. By focusing on it with your attention, you supply the energy that calls it to life. Without attention, it lies dormant, unrealized, forgotten. With attention, it stirs, takes root, and grows until it manifests in your life as form and experience. The law of attention is hidden because most people are unaware of its operation. They give their attention carelessly to worries, to fears, to frustrations, and then wonder why their lives are filled with more of the same. They do not realize that the universe is impartial, responding only to the energy that is fed to it. It does not distinguish between what you want and what you dread. It simply amplifies what you consistently focus upon. This is why writing with intention is so critical. When you write, you focus deliberately. You channel your attention into precise words, and those words become containers of energy. They hold your focus even when your mind wanders. Each time you return to what you have written, You renew that energy, reinforcing the magnetic pull of your desire. Think of how easily attention is scattered in daily life. Distractions, conversations, noise, and countless demands pull the mind in 100 directions. In such a state, the power of attention is diluted, like sunlight filtered through clouds. But when you write with intention, you gather that scattered energy and concentrate it into a single beam, like sunlight focused through a magnifying glass. And just as focused sunlight can ignite fire, focused attention can ignite creation. A vague dream may linger for years without progress, but once written and consistently revisited with attention, it begins to move swiftly toward manifestation. Writing is not only a record of thought, it is an act of alignment. It aligns your inner world with the outer. It bridges imagination with reality. And through the law of attention, it transforms desire into expectation. When you place your focus on what you write, you are no longer wandering in the fog of possibility. You are fixing your gaze on a clear path, and the universe responds by clearing obstacles and opening doors along that path. Energy follows attention. Circumstances follow energy. Destiny follows circumstances. And it all begins with where you choose to focus. The danger lies in forgetting this truth and misusing attention. How many people unknowingly write down their troubles, their limitations, their doubts? They fill journals with frustration, not realizing that they are feeding energy into the very things they wish to escape. What is written repeatedly with focus cannot help but grow stronger. To complain in writing is to plant weeds in your garden and water them faithfully. The law of attention works with perfect neutrality. It gives life to whatever you attend to, whether it lifts you higher or drags you lower. That is why conscious intention must guide your focus. You must write not as a chronicler of problems, but as a creator of solutions. You must fix your attention not on the shadows, but on the light. Every great achievement begins with someone who learned to harness attention. The inventor who wrote plans late into the night. The visionary who described in writing a future no one else could see. The leader who drafted words that later shaped nations. They were all using the same law. They took what could have been a vague hope and gave it form through written words. By focusing their attention with clarity, they transmitted energy into the unseen, and the unseen responded with circumstances, inspiration, and opportunity. Their lives became testimonies to the hidden law. The same principle applies on the most personal levels. Write down your goals with clear attention, and watch as ideas, connections, and chances begin to appear. Write down the qualities you wish to embody, and see how life gives you experiences to develop them. Write down the vision of the life you wish to live, and notice how it begins to take shape, often in ways you could not predict. This is not coincidence, it is law. When you give consistent attention to an idea, you create a magnetic field around it. That field draws into itself the elements needed for fulfillment. Even repetition deepens the power of attention. Each time you write your intention again, you carve the pattern deeper into the fabric of the unseen. Each time you read what you have written, you reinforce its vibration. The universe does not tire of hearing your command. It responds with greater strength the more consistent your attention becomes. Just as a river carves through rock with steady persistence, so too does attention carve through resistance and shape reality according to your focus. The beauty of this law is that it works silently and faithfully. You do not need to know how the universe will fulfill your written words. You do not need to see every step in advance. Your role is to give attention with intention, to write and focus, to believe and expect. The rest is handled by forces far greater than you, weaving circumstances in your favor, aligning opportunities, and orchestrating outcomes. This is why faith is intertwined with attention. Because once your focus is fixed, you must trust that the unseen is working, even when nothing seems to be happening. In truth, nothing is more powerful than the marriage of intention and attention. Intention sets the aim, attention provides the energy. Without intention, attention is wasted. Without attention, intention remains weak. But together, they become irresistible. Together, they draw reality into alignment with what you have written. Together, they prove that nothing you choose to focus upon with clarity, belief, and persistence is beyond your reach. This is the hidden law of attention, hidden not because it is absent, but because it is so often overlooked. It operates whether you are aware of it or not. It is not a matter of belief. It is a matter of use. And when you use it with wisdom, when you choose to write with clear intention and give your steady attention to those words, you awaken a force that cannot be denied. You awaken the quiet yet unstoppable current that transforms thought into form and dream into destiny. Guarding your secret vision is one of the most vital steps in the process of creation, and yet it is the step most people ignore. A dream, in its infancy, is like a fragile flame. It flickers softly, vulnerable to the slightest gust of wind, easily extinguished if it is not protected. And that is precisely why, when you write down your deepest intentions, when you set your vision upon the page with clarity and purpose, you must resist the temptation to share it carelessly. The world is full of voices, opinions, doubts, and judgments, and not every voice will nurture your vision. Some will ridicule it. Some will challenge it. Some will even unconsciously trample it underfoot with skepticism. Your vision is your treasure, and treasures are meant to be guarded. There is a deep wisdom in silence. It is not the silence of fear, but the silence of strength. When you guard your vision, you are not hiding from the world. You are protecting the energy that it carries. Think of a seed once more. If a farmer were to expose the seed to the harshness of the elements before it had rooted itself deeply in the soil, it would never survive. The seed needs time in the dark, time in the quiet, time to grow unseen before it can withstand the winds and rains of the outside world. Your vision operates under the same principle. Shared too soon, it becomes vulnerable to external forces that can weaken your belief, dilute your focus, or steal the energy you've invested in it. Kept in sacred secrecy, it gathers power. It grows roots in the unseen until it is strong enough to stand unshaken in the seen. Guarding your secret vision is also an act of self-respect. It is acknowledging that not everything deserves to be broadcast. Not every idea requires validation. Not every dream needs the approval of others to be real. When you write it down and keep it safe, you are saying to yourself, "This belongs to me. This is sacred. This is alive within me, and I will not allow it to be handled carelessly." In doing so, you form a sacred bond between yourself and the infinite. The moment you begin to shield your vision, you are declaring its importance. You are saying it is worthy of silence, worthy of secrecy, worthy of being treated as holy ground. There is also the danger of contamination. Every word you speak about your vision sends energy into the world, and the world echoes it back. If those echoes return as doubt or dismissal, they can seep into your consciousness and weaken your certainty. Doubt is like a shadow. It spreads easily if you allow it in. When you protect your vision in silence, you close the door to that shadow. You keep your belief pure. You allow the vision to grow within the sanctuary of your mind and your heart, untouched by the hands of others who cannot see what you see. Understand this: your dream was given to you, not to them. Others may not understand it because it was not planted in their soul. They may not grasp its magnitude, its beauty, its purpose. They may look at your dream through the narrow lens of their own limitations. And in doing so, they may attempt to measure your possibility by their own capacity. If you hand them your vision before it has matured, you give them power over it, and they may project their doubts onto it. But if you keep it hidden, if you allow it to grow in silence, the day will come when it no longer requires explanation. It will speak for itself through the undeniable evidence of manifestation. Guarding your secret vision does not mean you never share it. There will come a time when your dream is ready to be revealed, when it is no longer fragile but powerful, no longer a whisper but a roar. At that point, it will not need defense, for its presence will be undeniable. But until that time comes, silence is your ally. Secrecy is your shield. Protect the vision as you would a newborn child, giving it the space to grow strong before presenting it to the world. When you practice this sacred guarding, you will notice a shift within yourself. Your energy will feel more focused. Your belief will feel more solid. You will no longer seek the approval of others to validate your dream, because you will already know its truth. You will stop scattering your energy through unnecessary conversations and begin channeling it toward nurturing and strengthening your vision. This shift alone will accelerate the process of manifestation, because energy, once concentrated, becomes unstoppable. Guarding your vision is not about isolation. It is about alignment. It is about choosing to remain aligned with your inner knowing, rather than allowing outer noise to drown it out. It is about understanding that the universe operates in silence, that the most powerful transformations occur in the unseen before they appear in the seen. Just as a tree grows its roots long before it shows its branches, your dream must be allowed to grow inwardly before it can flourish outwardly. So write it down. Write it with clarity, boldness, with conviction. And then, keep it safe. Place it where only your eyes can see. Return to it in the quiet of your own soul, reading it, feeling it, affirming it. Let it become so deeply embedded within you that no external voice could ever shake it. Let it burn within you. It glows like a flame too strong to be extinguished. For when the time comes, and it will, your vision will break forth with a strength so radiant that the world cannot deny it. And those who once would have doubted will look upon the manifestation and call it destiny. They will see the fruit, but not the hidden labor. They will marvel at the harvest, but never know how carefully you guarded the seed. And you will know, deep within, that your silence was not emptiness. It was power. The magnetic pull of belief is one of the most extraordinary forces in all of creation. A silent current that draws to you the very experiences, people, and opportunities that match the vibration of your inner certainty. It is not always understood, for belief is invisible. You cannot see it with your eyes, yet you can feel its presence in your heart, and you can witness its power in the way life unfolds around you. Belief is a magnet, and what you hold with conviction will inevitably find its way to you. This is not chance, nor accident, nor mere coincidence. It is law. When you write something down and keep it secret, you are not only creating a covenant with the unseen, you are also strengthening the field of your belief. Every time you revisit those words in silence, every time you read them and feel their truth, you are reinforcing the magnet within yourself. And belief, when nurtured in private, grows in strength far more quickly than when it is exposed to the doubts and disbelief of others. This is why secrecy matters, for belief is delicate in its early stages. Shared too soon, it can be weakened. Guarded in silence, it becomes powerful, radiant, unshakable. Belief is not wishful thinking. It is not fragile hope. It is not the timid thought that says, perhaps it may happen. True belief says, what is already mine, though I may not yet see it. It declares with quiet confidence that the outcome is assured. And once that belief is anchored, it begins to act as a magnetic current. It draws into your orbit the very resources you need. It connects you with the right people at the right time. It causes doors to open that were once closed. It stirs ideas within your mind that you never considered before. It turns what was once impossible into the inevitable. Consider a magnet in the physical world. Though invisible to the human eye, it exerts a field of power, drawing iron filings toward itself, arranging them in perfect order. You cannot see the force, yet you can see its effects. In the same way, belief creates an unseen field around you, a vibrational current that organizes the circumstances of your life. What you truly believe, you will live. What you believe is yours, you will experience. The law does not waver, it does not discriminate, it does not fail. This is why it is so essential to cultivate belief in secrecy. For if you expose your vision before your belief has taken root, the skepticism of others can interfere with your magnetic field. Their words of doubt may not seem powerful at first, but if you allow them to linger in your mind, they can erode the purity of your conviction. Just as static can disrupt a signal, outside voices can disrupt the current of your belief. But when you nurture it quietly, when you protect it in silence, the current strengthens without interruption. It becomes so strong that, in time, no voice of doubt can touch it. Belief is not created in an instant. It is built layer upon layer, through repetition, focus, and silence. Every time you affirm your vision in writing, every time you return to your hidden note and remind yourself of its truth, you are adding another layer of strength. Each layer increases the magnetic pull, making the attraction more inevitable, more unstoppable. Just as the steady dripping of water can carve through stone, the steady reinforcement of belief carves a path through reality, bringing into form the very thing you once held only in your mind. It is important to understand that belief always works, whether you direct it consciously or unconsciously. If you believe in failure, you will find yourself surrounded by failure. If you believe in limitation, life will present you with endless barriers. If you believe you are unworthy, you will attract experiences that confirm that belief. The magnet never stops pulling. It simply responds to the quality of your conviction. This is why guarding your vision is so sacred. When you choose deliberately to believe in your highest possibility and protect that belief from external interference, you align yourself with the currents of creation in the most powerful way. Think of those who have achieved greatness in any field. Artists, inventors, leaders, visionaries. Their belief was their magnet. Often, the world around them did not understand. Many faced ridicule, doubt, even hostility. Yet because they nurtured their conviction within, because they allowed their belief to grow stronger than the opposition, the world eventually yielded. Their magnet was stronger than the resistance. And so it is with you. Your belief, when cultivated in silence, becomes irresistible. It does not matter what others say or think, for the law of attraction to belief is impartial. It cannot be stopped. This is also why doubt must be treated as poison. Doubt is not harmless. It weakens the current, disrupts the pull, scatters the energy. When you entertain doubt, you weaken your magnet, and life mirrors that weakness back to you. But when you remain steadfast, when you affirm again and again that what you have written is yours, doubt dissolves. It cannot exist in the presence of unwavering conviction. Belief and doubt cannot occupy the same space for long. One must yield to the other. Which one dominates depends entirely on which you feed with your attention. Belief is fed by secrecy, by repetition, and by feeling. It is not enough to write your words mechanically. You must breathe life into them with emotion. You must feel, even for a few moments, the reality of what you have written as though it were already here. That feeling amplifies the magnet. It sends out a signal so strong that the unseen must respond. And as you return to your secret vision day by day, as you nurture it with attention and guard it in silence, the feeling grows easier, more natural, more automatic. In time, you no longer wonder if it will happen. You know it will, and that knowing is the magnetic force that pulls it inexorably into your life. Do not underestimate the magnetic pull of belief. It is shaping your life at this very moment, whether or not you are conscious of it. Every experience, every circumstance, every opportunity you encounter is drawn by the current of what you truly believe. And the secret to transforming your life lies in seizing control of that magnet. Guard your vision. Write it down. Keep it hidden. Return to it with devotion. Feel it as truth, and then watch as life bends to the quiet yet irresistible pull of your belief, until the invisible becomes visible, and the unseen becomes undeniable. The law of expectancy is one of the most subtle yet profound forces in the universe. It is the quiet assurance that what you anticipate, what you truly expect with the full weight of your being, begins to move toward you. Expectancy is more than hope, more than desire, more than idle wishing. It is the inner knowing that what you have asked for, what you have written down, what you have claimed in the silence of your soul, is already on its way. To expect is to prepare inwardly for the inevitable arrival of your vision. It is to stand as though you are already in possession of what you desire, with no doubt, no hesitation, no uncertainty. When you write your vision down and seal it in the sacred vault of secrecy, you are performing the first step of expectancy. Writing is an act of declaration. It says, "This is real. This is done." But expectancy is what gives that declaration its power. For writing without expectancy is an empty ritual. Expectancy transforms words into commands, paper into prophecy, ink into energy. The moment you release your words in the unseen with genuine expectancy, you activate the law that summons into form the very things you have written. Expectancy is not loud. It does not strain, it does not beg, it does not plead. It is quiet, confident, unshakable. It is like a master builder who, after laying the foundation, does not question whether the walls will rise. He knows the blueprint is sound, the process is set, and the result is certain. In the same way, when you expect, you do not worry over how it will happen or when. You do not search the horizon with desperation, wondering if the promise will arrive. Instead, you live as though the promise is already fulfilled. You walk in alignment with the truth that the universe is faithful to its laws, and one of those laws is that what is expected with conviction must manifest. The danger comes when desire is mistaken for expectancy. Desire says, "I want it." Expectancy says, "It is mine." Desire leaves the outcome in question. Expectancy leaves no room for doubt. Many people write down their goals, their dreams, their intentions, but they do so with a sense of longing rather than knowing. They are like beggars at the door of the universe, hoping for scraps, instead of rightful heirs stepping into their inheritance. The law of expectancy responds only to certainty, not to uncertainty. It responds to faith, not fear. And so the one who expects, even if he has nothing in hand, stands taller than the one who desires without belief. Every time you return to what you have written, you are given the opportunity to shift from desire into expectancy. You can look at those words and either say, "I wish this would happen," or you can say, "This is already mine, though unseen." One perspective keeps the vision forever in the future, the other pulls it into the present. Expectancy is a magnet for alignment. It draws to you opportunities you could never have orchestrated. It stirs ideas within you that you might never have thought of otherwise. It arranges circumstances so intricately that others may call it coincidence, but you will know it is the law of expectancy at work. Think of the way expectancy operates in everyday life. A traveler who has purchased a ticket to a distant city does not question whether the plane will arrive at its destination. He expects it. He packs his bags, he clears his schedule, he prepares his life around the certainty that he will be there. He does not hope for the destination. He prepares for it. That is expectancy. Or consider the farmer who plants his crop. He does not spend his days worrying if the harvest will come. He tills the soil, waters the field, and expects the fruit. The harvest may not yet be visible, but his expectancy is unwavering. He does not look to the empty soil and despair. He looks to the future with certainty because he knows the law of the seed. In the same way, when you write your intention, you must cultivate expectancy. You must treat your hidden words as seeds already planted. Though you cannot see the roots forming beneath the surface, you must trust that they are there. Though no shoots have yet broken through the soil of reality, you must prepare as though the harvest is assured. Expectancy is the farmer's calm patience, the traveler's steady confidence, the builder's unwavering assurance. It is the refusal to doubt the outcome simply because the process is not yet complete. Expectancy also requires the discipline to release control over the how and the when. The universe does not always follow the route you imagine. Its ways are higher, its methods often mysterious. If you try to dictate every detail, you may fall into anxiety, believing that if things do not happen exactly as you planned, they will not happen at all. But expectancy frees you from that trap. It says, I do not need to know how or when. I know only that it shall be, and in that release, you create space for the universe to orchestrate outcomes far greater than anything you could design on your own. There is a subtle joy in expectancy. It carries within it a lightness, an anticipation, a quiet excitement. You begin to live as though your vision were already unfolding. You speak differently. You walk differently. You think differently. You find yourself preparing for what has not yet arrived because in your heart it already has. And that preparation sends another signal to the unseen. I am ready. The one who expects prepares, the one who doubts delays, and life responds accordingly. Expectancy also protects you from discouragement. When challenges arise, when delays occur, when appearances suggest that nothing is happening, expectancy whispers, this is only part of the process. You do not collapse into despair, because expectancy knows that what is invisible today will be visible tomorrow. Just as a pregnant mother does not doubt the unseen child within her, but lives each day in preparation for its arrival, so too does expectancy treat the invisible vision as inevitable. No outward circumstance can shake that inner knowing. The law of expectancy is impartial. It does not care whether you expect success or failure, abundance or lack, joy or sorrow. Whatever you expect with conviction, you prepare for, and whatever you prepare for, you draw into your life. That is why you must guard your thoughts, your words, and especially what you write. Do not inscribe fear into your notebook. Do not write down visions of defeat. Do not use your focus to strengthen doubt. Write only that which you are willing to expect with your whole being, and then return to it in silence until your heart beats in rhythm with its truth. When expectancy takes root, life itself seems to shift. Doors open where before there were walls. Paths appear where before there was wilderness. People enter your life carrying answers, solutions, and opportunities, as though summoned by an invisible hand. Once seemed impossible becomes natural, even inevitable. And when the vision finally manifests, it will not feel like a surprise. It will feel like the natural fulfillment of what you always knew was coming. To expect is to create. To expect is to command. To expect is to align yourself so completely with your written vision that reality has no choice but to comply. The law of expectancy is not distant, not hidden from you. It is within you, waiting for your recognition. And once you embrace it, once you shift from wishing to knowing, from longing to expecting, the unseen begins to move, the wheels of destiny begin to turn, and the life you have claimed in secret becomes the life you live in truth. The danger of external voices is one of the greatest obstacles to the manifestation of your hidden vision. It is subtle, it is insidious, and often it comes from those closest to you. Families, colleagues, those whose words carry weight in your heart. Yet make no mistake, their doubts, their fears, their disbelief can scatter the delicate seed you have planted if you expose it too soon. This is why secrecy is sacred. It is why the ancient wisdom says to guard your treasure, to keep your pearl hidden until it is strong enough to shine without interference. When you write down your vision, you are birthing something fragile yet powerful. At first, it is like a newborn flame. It flickers with hope, it glows with possibility, but is not yet steady. If you reveal it in its infancy, if you set it before the winds of opinion, those gusts can extinguish the light before it grows into a fire. Not because others intend harm, but because the world reflects what they carry within. Many have been conditioned by fear. Many live in limitation. Many have surrendered their dreams long ago, and when they see your spark, it confronts their resignation. And so they speak not with malice, but with disbelief. They say, be realistic. They say, that's impossible. They say, don't set yourself up for disappointment. And if you are not vigilant, their words can burrow into your mind and poison your belief. Words are not harmless. Just as your written words carry the power of creation, spoken words carry the power of influence. They can strengthen or weaken, build or destroy, nourish or starve the vision within you. External voices, when received without discernment, can shape the soil of your heart. If the soil becomes hard with doubt, the seed cannot take root. If it becomes polluted with fear, the seed withers before it can grow. This is why you must be ruthless in your protection of the unseen. Until your belief is unshackable, keep your vision concealed from the careless chatter of the world. There is a deep danger in seeking validation from others. Many people reveal their dreams not out of strength, but out of insecurity, hoping that someone will approve, applaud, or confirm them. But in doing so, they hand over their power to external voices. And if those voices do not echo encouragement, the fragile dream collapses. True power requires independence from opinion. It requires the courage to say, I do not need permission for what I have written. I do not need anyone else to believe in it. My belief is enough. Only then does your vision grow roots deep enough to withstand any storm. Remember that external voices often reflect their own inner world, not the truth of yours. When someone says, that can't be done, they are only revealing the limits of their own belief. When someone laughs at your vision, they are only projecting their own fear of failure. Their words are mirrors, not prophecies. If you internalize them, you accept their limitations as your own. If you reject them, you preserve your limitless potential. This discernment is the shield you must carry if you ever choose to share your vision. But in the early stages, the best shield is silence. Silence is invulnerable. Silence gives no entry point for doubt. The danger of external voices is not only in their negativity, but also in their subtlety. Sometimes doubt is disguised as concern. A loved one may say, I only want what's best for you, while urging you to abandon your path. Sometimes disbelief is cloaked in humor. Someone may laugh at your dream as though it were a joke, leaving you to wonder if you are foolish for believing. And sometimes the danger lies not in direct words, but in the unspoken energy of skepticism. The raised eyebrow, the hesitant pause, the silence that says, I don't see it. These subtle signals can seep into your spirit if you are not vigilant, weakening your conviction without you even realizing it. Guarding your vision does not mean shutting yourself off from the world forever. It means recognizing that timing is everything. A seed does not endure harsh winds while it is still buried beneath the soil. It emerges only when it is strong enough to withstand the elements. In the same way, your vision should remain hidden until your belief has grown so strong that no voice can shake it. When your conviction burns like fire, when your expectancy radiates like light, when your knowing is unshackable, then and only then may you share. And by then, the manifestation may already be visible. There is also the danger of comparing your vision to the noise of the external world. In the age of endless voices, social media, news, opinions shouted from every direction, it is easy to let your secret intention be drowned out by the volume of the crowd. The external world thrives on distraction, on pulling your attention in 1,000 directions. But manifestation requires focus. If you allow your eyes and ears to be consumed by the constant noise of others, silence, again, is your ally. In silence, your vision speaks clearly. In silence, the seed grows without interference. Yet do not despise the role of external voices entirely. For once your vision is strong, once your manifestation has begun, the same voices that once doubted may transform into witnesses of your power. They may even become believers themselves, inspired by what they see you create. The danger of external voices lies only in allowing them to influence you prematurely. When you have crossed the threshold of certainty, their words no longer matter. You will no longer seek their approval, for you will stand in the proof of your manifestation. This is the paradox. At first, you must guard your vision from external voices. Later, your vision will speak louder than any voice. But the bridge between those stages is secrecy. It is silence. It is the courage to believe in what no one else can see, to protect what no one else understands, until it grows into something undeniable. So be watchful, my friend. Be vigilant. Not every voice deserves access to your seed. Not every ear is worthy of your vision. Not every opinion carries truth. Weigh carefully whose words you allow into the sacred chamber of your belief. And above all, remember this: the infinite has already spoken in your favor. That voice, the voice within, is the only one that matters. Guard it, nurture it, protect it, and let the external voices fade into nothing. For when your manifestation arrives, the very world that doubted will have no choice but to witness your triumph. The sacred covenant between you and the infinite is not written in stone, nor signed with ink, nor witnessed by the eyes of men. It is born in the secret place of your heart, sealed by your words, and made living through your faith. When you write down your vision and keep it hidden, you are entering into this covenant. It is not a mere exercise of the mind, not a casual scribble of desire. It is a binding agreement between your soul and the limitless source of all creation. A covenant is more than a promise. It is a union, a fusion of intent. When you inscribe your words in secrecy, you are not simply stating what you want. You are declaring alignment with the infinite will, the great creative power that has existed before the stars were hung in the heavens. You are saying, "This is my truth, this is my path, this is my creation." And in return the infinite whispers back, "So it shall be." That exchange, that silent agreement, is the covenant. What makes it sacred is not the paper or the pen, but the intention behind it. Many write words without power, because their writing lacks belief, reverence, and expectancy. But when you write with your whole being, when you feel the weight of your words as commands to the universe, you elevate the act to something holy. That is why it must be concealed. It is not for the careless eyes of others, not for the casual chatter of the world. It is a sacred contract, and sacred things are not cast before the multitudes. They are treasured, protected, revered. Understand this: every covenant requires responsibility. When you write your desire and seal it in secrecy, you are not handing over responsibility to the infinite while you sit idly by. You are agreeing to walk in alignment with what you have written. You are agreeing to think, speak, and act as though it were already true. The infinite supplies the unseen orchestration, the movement of circumstances, the drawing of resources, but you must live in harmony with the covenant. You cannot write abundance and then speak lack. You cannot write health and then affirm sickness. You cannot write love and then embody bitterness. To do so is to break the covenant, to dilute its power, to weaken its foundation. This covenant is sacred because it is unshackable once formed with sincerity. It is not like the contracts of men, which can be torn, broken, or betrayed. The infinite does not renege on promises. It is faithful to its laws. Once you align yourself, once you inscribe your truth and hold it in secrecy, the covenant is alive. It cannot be erased except by your own disbelief. If you turn away, if you choose doubt over faith, you weaken your side of the agreement. But the infinite waits patiently, ready to fulfill its part the moment you return to belief. Every miracle in history has been the fruit of such a covenant. Every vision that reshaped the world was first whispered in silence between the soul of a human being and the great creative intelligence. Think of prophets, inventors, dreamers, leaders. All carried within them a secret word, a hidden covenant. Long before the world could see the outcome, they guarded it. They nourished it. They lived as though it were true. And because they honored the covenant, creation responded. The infinite does not play favorites. It responds to alignment. What it has done for one, it will do for all. To enter into covenant is to acknowledge that you are not alone in the shaping of your destiny. You are a co-creator. You hold the pen, but the infinite holds the canvas of reality. You write, but the infinite paints. You declare, but the infinite manifests. This union is what makes the act so powerful. Alone, your words may seem small, but joined with the infinite, they carry the weight of eternity. That is why it has been said throughout ages, "It is done unto you as you believe." Not because of the might of your hand, but because your hand joins with the infinite hand when belief is present. Silence preserves the sanctity of the covenant. Imagine entering into a sacred marriage, and then rushing to share every detail with strangers in the street. The intimacy would be broken, the power scattered. In the same way, your covenant with the infinite is private. It is not for validation, not for applause, not for discussion. It is between you and the source alone. And in that privacy, it gathers strength. It becomes a wellspring of energy within you, flowing unseen until it bursts forth as undeniable reality. The covenant also carries assurance. When doubt creeps in, when appearances contradict your vision, you can return to what you have written and remember. This is not a wish. This is not a fantasy. This is my covenant, and the infinite is faithful. That remembrance rekindles your strength. It steadies your heart. It silences the noise of the world. A covenant cannot be rushed, but it cannot be denied. The timing belongs to the infinite, but the fulfillment is certain. And let us not forget gratitude. Gratitude is the seal that strengthens the covenant. When you give thanks, not after the manifestation, but before, you affirm your trust in the infinite. You are saying, I know this covenant is alive. I know it is already mine in the unseen. I thank you for it now. Gratitude lifts your expectancy, quiets your doubt, and harmonizes your spirit with the truth of your words. It transforms waiting into preparation, and preparation into joy. This sacred covenant is the reason your written words must not be treated lightly. It is why you must write not what you think others will approve, not what fear suggests, but what your soul truly longs for. To inscribe anything less than your highest truth is to waste the power of covenant. The infinite does not respond to half-hearted declarations. It responds to sincerity, clarity, and faith. Write only what burns in your spirit, what calls from the depths of your heart, what feels like destiny itself. Then seal it, guard it, and let the covenant work. Know this: the infinite is always faithful. The moment you enter into covenant through writing, secrecy, and belief, the universe begins to move. Forces align, circumstances shift, paths clear. Though unseen at first, the process is already alive. The covenant is the invisible contract that binds your vision to its fulfillment, and once entered, nothing can stop it except the withdrawal of your own faith. Therefore honor it, revere it, protect it. Do not treat it as ordinary. It is sacred because it connects you to the limitless source, because it declares your place as co-creator, because it transforms your private words into universal law. When you write and keep it secret, you are not just expressing a desire. You are binding yourself to destiny. And when you honor that covenant, life itself must honor you. Would you like me to continue with point A, the hidden magnet of silence, in the same expanded 1,000-word style? The hidden magnet of silence is one of the most overlooked forces in the process of creation. In a world that glorifies noise, constant chatter, endless announcements of goals and dreams, silence may appear weak, passive, or empty. But silence is not empty. Silence is charged. Silence is magnetic. It gathers power in ways that words spoken aloud too soon cannot. It creates an invisible pull between your vision and its manifestation, a pull that grows stronger the more you guard your secret with quiet devotion. When you keep what you have written in silence, you are not merely withholding words from others. You are feeding energy into the unseen. Silence gathers, it concentrates. It strengthens the bond between you and the infinite. Every time you revisit your written words without speaking them into the noise of the world, you are watering the seed in the soil of the unseen. You may not yet see the sprout, but beneath the ground, roots are stretching deep and strong. And those roots are nourished by silence. There is a sacred reason why many of the world's greatest teachings were given in silence. Through meditation, through stillness, through the quiet recesses of the heart. Noise dissipates energy, silence condenses it. Words spoken at the wrong time can scatter the seed. But silence, like fertile soil, preserves the seed in darkness where it can grow undisturbed. It may seem paradoxical that saying nothing could accomplish so much, but that is the mystery of the magnet of silence. It works not through outward display, but through inward alignment. Silence is magnetic because it resists interference. When you speak prematurely, your words invite opinions, doubts, and distractions from others. Even well-meaning encouragement can sometimes distort your vision, shifting it away from the pure form you originally received. But when you keep silent, the vision remains uncontaminated. It remains yours and yours alone. It is preserved in its original clarity, and that purity increases its magnetic pull. The universe does not respond to a diluted intention, it responds to focus. Silence protects that focus like a shield. The magnet of silence draws strength from expectancy. When you keep silent, you are not merely avoiding external voices. You are demonstrating faith. You are saying, I do not need to announce this to others. I do not need their approval, their applause, or their acknowledgement. I know this vision is mine, and that is enough. That quiet confidence radiates like a frequency, and life responds to it. Silence is not hesitation, it is certainty. Those who are unsure speak often to seek reassurance. Those who are sure can remain silent, for their assurance speaks louder than any word. Think of nature. The seed grows in silence. The roots of the mighty oak stretch deep in silence. The gestation of life in the womb unfolds in silence. The caterpillar transforms into the butterfly in silence. Creation does not require constant noise. It requires stillness, patience, and hidden processes that the eye cannot see. Your vision is no different. When you conceal it in silence, you allow it the sacred space to grow into something undeniable. The hidden magnet of silence also allows you to hear. When the world is loud with opinions, you cannot discern the whisper of the infinite. But in silence, that whisper becomes clear. In the quiet space of your own spirit, you begin to receive guidance, intuition, and direction that would otherwise be drowned out by noise. The infinite does not shout, it speaks softly, and only those who honor silence can hear its voice. In this way, silence not only protects your vision but also guides you toward its manifestation. Some people confuse silence with stagnation. They think that by keeping quiet, they are doing nothing. But silence is not inaction. It is preparation, it is gestation, it is the gathering of invisible power. Just as the bow must be drawn back in silence before the arrow flies, your silence draws back the energy of creation, storing potential until the moment it bursts forth into reality. Without the drawing back, the release has no force. Without silence, your manifestation has no magnetism. Silence also refines your relationship with your own vision. When you share too soon, your energy may shift from devotion to performance. Instead of nurturing the seed for its own sake, you may find yourself shaping it to impress others, to gain their praise, to defend against their doubts. The vision becomes distorted by the need for external recognition. But when you remain silent, your intention remains pure. You nurture it for yourself, for your covenant with the infinite, not for the validation of the crowd. That purity is magnetic, for it vibrates in harmony with truth. Consider how the greatest breakthroughs in history often began in silence. The artist paints alone before the masterpiece is revealed. The scientist experiments in secrecy before the discovery is announced. The visionary dreams in solitude before the movement begins. The silence is not wasted time. It is the most fertile stage of creation. It is the hidden magnet drawing together all that is needed for the unveiling. By the time the world sees the fruit, the roots have already grown strong in silence. There is also strength in restraint. To keep silent when you could boost, to guard your vision when you could seek praise, to wait when you could rush. This is discipline. And discipline is itself magnetic. The universe respects the one who can keep their treasure hidden until it is ripe. The impatient scatter their energy in noise and find themselves weakened. The patient remain silent and find themselves powerful. Silence teaches you to trust the process, to believe without constant reinforcement, to walk in certainty without needing constant reminders from the world. The hidden magnet of silence also carries a mystical quality. Those who walk in silence about their vision often exude a quiet power that others can feel, though they may not understand it. People sense the presence of something unspoken, something alive, something growing beneath the surface. That unspoken energy attracts without words, influences without explanation, inspires without noise. Such is the power of silence. It does not need to be announced, for it is felt. And when the time comes to reveal your vision, the silence will have done its work. The magnet will have gathered so much unseen strength that the manifestation will appear not as a fragile hope, but as a fully formed reality. And by then, no external voice will be able to shake it, for the roots will be too deep, the fruit too ripe, the truth too evident. Silence will have drawn to you all that was necessary, and your vision will stand radiant, undeniable, unstoppable. This is the hidden magnet of silence. It does not shout clamor. It does not demand attention. It gathers, it strengthens, it protects, and it draws. When you write down your vision and keep it concealed, you are not withholding. You are magnetizing. You are not delaying. You are preparing. You are not doing nothing. You are doing the most powerful thing of all. You are allowing silence to work its mystery, to gather unseen forces, to concentrate invisible energy, until the day arrives when your hidden seed breaks the soil of reality and blossoms before the eyes of all. The unseen alignment of circumstances is one of the most astonishing demonstrations of the creative process. It is the mysterious orchestration that begins the very moment you write your vision with intention and seal it in secrecy. Though you may not perceive it with your natural eyes, the wheels of destiny start turning. Invisible threads are woven together. Paths that once seemed disconnected begin to intertwine. People you have not yet met are being moved into place. Opportunities you could never have engineered are being prepared. And all of this happens quietly, beyond the reach of your conscious planning, yet perfectly aligned with the words you have written in faith. This alignment does not operate according to human logic. To the rational mind, it seems impossible that writing a few lines on paper and keeping them hidden could set into motion such sweeping changes. But the unseen realm does not bow to reason. It bows to law. The law of creation responds not to doubt or explanation but to intention, belief, and expectancy. Once you declare your vision in writing, you send out a signal, and the universe begins to rearrange itself around that signal. It is like setting a frequency on a radio. You may not see the waves in the air, but the station you tune into becomes audible. In the same way, the frequency of your intention becomes magnetic, drawing into alignment everything needed for its fulfillment. The beauty of this unseen alignment is that you are not required to understand how it works. The farmer does not demand to know how the soil, the water, and the sunlight cooperate to produce fruit. He simply plants, tends, and trusts. And in due time, the harvest comes. Likewise, your role is not to calculate every detail or manipulate every circumstance. Your role is to write, to believe, to expect, and to act in harmony with your vision. The infinite arranges the rest, and it does so with a wisdom that far surpasses your own. Often, you will only recognize the alignment in hindsight. A chance encounter that seemed random reveals itself to have been perfectly timed. A door that closed painfully shows itself to have redirected you toward the very path you needed. A delay that once frustrated you becomes the reason an opportunity arrives, in the precise moment you were ready for it. What felt like chaos proves to be order hidden from view. This is the unseen alignment of circumstances. The universe working tirelessly, often invisibly, to bring your written vision into visible form. But here lies the challenge. During the alignment, appearances may deceive you. Things may seem to be moving in the opposite direction of your desire. Obstacles may arise. Plans may unravel. Yet what looks like opposition may in fact be positioning. What feels like loss may be clearing space for gain. What seems like delay may be preparation. If you lose faith in these moments, if you abandon your written covenant because the outer picture looks unfavorable, you cut yourself off from the alignment already in progress. But if you remain steady, if you continue to trust the unseen even when the scene appears chaotic, the alignment continues uninterrupted, and in time, you will marvel at the perfection of it all. Consider the story of many inventors, artists, and pioneers. Often they met resistance, setbacks, and failures along the way. Yet in hindsight, each setback was part of the alignment. Each failure refined their path, each closed door redirected them. Each delay gave them the wisdom or timing necessary for success. Without those obstacles, their vision would not have been realized in its fullness. The unseen alignment is not always smooth, but it is always purposeful. Every twist, every turn, every detour is part of the orchestration. The unseen alignment also involves people. The moment you write your vision, certain individuals begin moving toward you. Not because you chase them, but because the magnetic field of your belief draws them. Someone you meet casually may become a key connection. Someone who hears a single word from you may later open a door you could not have opened on your own. Even those who oppose you may unknowingly push you closer to your destiny. The infinite uses everything, supporters, challengers, coincidences, and contradictions, to align the circumstances of your life with the vision you have hidden in your heart. To recognize this alignment requires sensitivity. You must train yourself to look beyond appearances, to trust that nothing is wasted, to see the hand of the infinite in every detail. When you cultivate this awareness, even the smallest events take on new meaning. A conversation overheard, a book that falls into your lap, a sudden intuition, all become part of the great tapestry being woven. You begin to live with awe, knowing that your life is not a series of accidents, but a divine orchestration responding to your intention. And the more you trust the alignment, the more you cooperate with it. Instead of forcing outcomes, you flow with opportunities. Instead of clinging to rigid plans, you remain open to guidance. Instead of despairing in setbacks, you ask, what is this preparing me for? In this way, you move in harmony with the unseen currents, allowing them to carry you toward manifestation with far greater ease than striving could ever produce. The unseen alignment of circumstances is also a test of patience. Seeds do not sprout overnight, and visions do not manifest instantly. During the invisible alignment, it may seem as though nothing is happening. But just as the seed beneath the soil is breaking open, sending roots downward before the sprout appears above, so too is your vision taking root in unseen realms. Impatience can lead you to dig up the seed before it has time to grow. Faith, however, allows you to wait with expectancy, knowing that the harvest is certain even when the field looks bare. Remember this: the unseen alignment is always working, whether you are aware of it or not. Every step, every encounter, every delay, every advance, each is a piece of the larger puzzle. And when the vision finally appears in its fullness, you will look back and say, "Of course, it could not have happened any other way." What once seemed random will reveal itself as perfection. What once seemed uncertain will shine as destiny fulfilled. So do not despair in silence. Do not doubt the process. Trust the unseen alignment of circumstances. Write your vision, guard it, believe in it, and then walk in expectancy, knowing that forces beyond your comprehension are arranging everything on your behalf. The universe does not forget. The infinite does not fail. The alignment may be hidden now, but it is unfolding even in this moment. And in time, the invisible will become visible, and the secret covenant you formed will burst into undeniable reality. From hidden seed to radiant reality, that is the journey every vision must take. The process begins in silence, in secrecy, in the quiet act of writing down what you desire with faith and certainty. At first, it feels small, fragile, almost insignificant. A seed is nothing compared to the towering tree it will one day become. A scribbled line on a page is nothing compared to the destiny it will one day manifest. Yet within that seed, within those words, lies the blueprint of greatness. Nothing is missing, nothing is lacking. The radiant reality is already encoded in the hidden seed. When you write down your desire, you plant that seed in the soil of the unseen. The soil does not discriminate, it brings forth whatever is planted. And just as no one expects a seed to sprout the moment it touches the earth, you must not expect your vision to manifest instantly. Growth takes time. Transformation takes stages. There is an invisible unfolding that cannot be rushed. The soil works in silence, breaking open the shell, sending roots deep, preparing the sprout to rise. In the same way, the infinite works in silence, arranging, aligning, preparing the circumstances that will one day allow your vision to break through into visible reality. During this hidden stage, faith is your nourishment. You cannot see the roots growing beneath the soil, but you must trust that they are. You cannot see the alignment of circumstances, but you must believe that it is happening. The seed does not doubt, it surrenders to the process. The tree is not born in a day, but the day always comes when the sprout pierces the surface. Your vision is no different. When you write it down and guard it, you have already set on the path from hidden seed to radiant reality. Your role is to water it with expectancy, to shield it from doubt, and to keep it hidden until it has gathered enough strength to emerge unstoppable. There is a mystery in this transition. One day, the field looks barren, the next, a sprout appears. One day, nothing seems to be happening. The next, an opportunity arrives, a connection is made, a door opens. And what was once invisible suddenly takes form before your eyes. To the casual observer, it may appear sudden, miraculous. But you know the truth: the miracle was happening all along, in secret, in silence, in the unseen realm. The visible is only the final stage of a process that began the moment you took pen to paper and declared your vision in writing. As the hidden seed grows into radiant reality, something else happens. It transforms you. You become stronger, more patient, more attuned to the unseen. The very act of holding your vision in secrecy, of nurturing it in faith, shapes your character. You learn discipline, trust, and expectancy. By the time your vision manifests, you are not the same person who planted the seed. You have grown alongside it, and now you are ready to sustain and expand the radiant reality that has appeared. Without this inner growth, even a manifested dream could not last. But with it, you are prepared to live in the fullness of what you once wrote in secret. And when the seed finally blossoms, it does so in a way that cannot be ignored. The radiant reality shines with such brilliance that it surprises even you. What was once hidden in a notebook or journal, what was once guarded in silence, now stands before the world undeniable and unstoppable. Those who once doubted cannot deny the fruit. Those who once dismissed you cannot ignore the harvest. What was invisible has become visible. What was secret has become celebrated. Yet the most profound beauty of this journey is not merely the manifestation itself, but the realization that the same process can be repeated endlessly. Every vision, every desire, every new chapter begins again as a hidden seed. You now know the pattern. Write it down, conceal it, nurture it, trust the unseen, and watch as it becomes radiant reality. You no longer live as a victim of chance or circumstance. You live as a conscious creator. You hold the key that transforms the unseen into the seen, the hidden into the manifest, the seed into the harvest. And this radiant reality does not shine for you alone. Just as a tree provides shade, fruit, and shelter for many, your manifested vision will bless others. What you kept in secret will one day inspire, nourish, and uplift those around you. Your radiant reality becomes a beacon, a testimony to the power of intention, faith, and silence. Others will see what you have manifested and be stirred to plant their own seeds, to trust their own process, to believe in their own unseen alignment. In this way, your hidden seed becomes not just your triumph, but a light for the world. From hidden seed to radiant reality. This is not a one-time miracle. It is a law, a rhythm, a sacred pattern woven into the fabric of existence. Everything great begins in smallness. Everything visible begins in the unseen. Everything radiant begins as hidden. And those who honor the process, those who trust the silence, those who guard their written visions in secrecy, will always see the harvest. The seed may be hidden now, but the day will come when it bursts forth into reality, dazzling and undeniable. This is the promise if you write it down, if you believe it, if you keep it safe in the sanctuary of silence. It will move from hidden seed to radiant reality. It will break through the soil of doubt, rise above the shadows of fear, and stand tall as living proof that what is written in faith cannot be denied. The world may marvel at your radiant reality, but you will know. It all began in the secret act of writing, in the silent covenant between you and the infinite. And because you trusted the process, the hidden has become visible, the seed has become a tree, and your life has become a living miracle.